Some of you may be watching this video because you're at a point in your life where you're just tired. You're tired of your life being the way it is. You're tired of just being unhappy in the life that you are currently living right now, and you're just fed up. You're ready to make some changes. You're ready to do what you need to do, whether that means being alone, completely alone during this time, cutting people off, whatever it may possibly mean. You're just tired. And I wanted to create this video for those people who are just looking at their lives and they're just not happy. They may be miserable. They may be, when you rate their life from 1 to 10, they may be closer to the 5 and below numbers because they're just truly unhappy. And when you're fed up with your own life, sometimes that's what we need. That's what we need to kind of change and do a whole 180 so that we can get to where we need to be, whether it take a year, 2, 3, or maybe even more. But it's time. So for this video, I'm going to start us off on our first tip, which is going to be to stop complaining. And I know that may be difficult in that moment, or you may just be like, I'm tired, I'm fed up, this makes me upset, this makes me upset, everything. I'm just so tired of this life. But it's so important for you to breathe in those moments and to just understand that sometimes God will not move us until we learn to be grateful for where it is that we're at. So as we continue to complain and complain and complain, at the end of the day, we're only attracting continuous bad energy toward us. If you're kind of into manifestation, the law of attraction, if you're into that, then you do know that like attracts like, so what you put out is what you're going to get back. If you are more spiritual and you have a relationship with God, or you may look up to some other, I don't know if I should call it source or whatever that may be, you may be more on that end. You do understand that God is not going to continue to bless us when we're not grateful for the small things or the things that we do have. We may have a crappy job, but each and every day that job pays us. So sometimes we have to look at the good versus always focusing on the bad, because that's just going to create more bad, and that's not what we want. So just trying to not complain and be grateful in those moments, and trust that this is the beginning to something great, because you are so tired. That means that you're going to start to either be hungry and you're going to go out and do what you need to do and make decisions that you never would have thought you'd even be in a position to have to make, or you're going to continue to live this life that you don't even want to live. So it's kind of going to put you in a position to move forward or be more miserable. So just try to be grateful in those moments. Try to stop complaining, or when you catch yourself, to kind of just breathe and try to turn it around before you make it worse for yourself. So also during this time, you want to embrace it. I know you may be thinking, embrace this horrible time in my life, this time where I'm going through a divorce, this time where I'm almost completely homeless, this time where I'm eating beans and rice every single night. Why would I want to embrace that? But this is a time that you want to embrace, because this is a time for you to reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself and sit with yourself and understand that, hey, I may be eating beans and rice every single night and I'm tired of this, but if I want to get to the shrimp and the lobster and that be nothing to me, because at that point I'm a boss, I'm making boss moves, that means, you know, how do I get there? What steps do I need to take? What are things that I truly enjoy doing that I know comes easy to me? That's where your focus needs to be. When you're completely broken down, the only place that you can go is back up. So in those broken, the saddest possible moments, and I even think of Steve Harvey. I really love his story because he talks about living in his car multiple times, being homeless multiple times, and now you look at him. We've seen him on TV, we've seen the Steve Harvey show, we've seen him do all types of TV shows and just be amazing. Just the life that he lives, you can tell it's luxurious. You can tell that he's worked hard for every single thing that he has, and that is such a blessing. But in those hard, tough times, that is where you truly are going to find yourself. When you are at the top, you're living the best life ever, but when you're at your lowest and you feel like you want to give up and there's nothing left, this is the time for you to reinvent yourself. This is a time for you to actually focus on the things that you truly enjoy, the things that bring you joy, because those things are going to actually help bring you out of this horrible, sad place, you know, versus you being miserable and soaking in those moments of working at a job you truly hate. When you're off the clock, forget that job. You focus on what do I like to do outside of that job? What are things that I can do that come easy to me? that I can do with my eyes closed, that get my brain going and makes me feel excited. That's when you're going to have the opportunity to reinvent yourself, find yourself, and start focusing on those things so that you can create a better life for yourself, you guys. Another thing that I want to focus on, which I know can be really difficult, and it's definitely been difficult for myself, is cutting off people. Cutting off things that make your stomach turn or you're not completely okay with, that may, you know, the person may be good and you may truly love the person, but maybe there's things that are making you, you know, when you two get together, maybe there's things that brings up things from your past that you're like, these are things that I have to get away from. And sometimes it may not be a person, it may be activities that you're doing, anything that could possibly be negative and take you away from where you're truly trying to be. You've got to cut it off. And I know for some it may seem like, well, that's easier said than done. No, you've got to realize that this is your life. Nobody can live your life for you. Nobody can get you from point A to point B all the way to Z, which is where maybe your goals and aspirations and the life that you truly want to live is all the way down at the end of the alphabet. Maybe it's down there, but only you can get yourself there. So sometimes you have to cut people or things off. You've got to be selfish with you. You've got to understand that it's 2020 and I can't be living the same life in 2025. I can't. So I'm going to have to be selfish. I'm going to have to cut off anything that brings negativity into my life. If you're hanging out with a group of people who always just want to go get alcohol and drink all night till the sun comes up and hang out with random dudes or random girls, and you're like, this is not, you know, I only get so much free time and my free time is being used for this and I'm not working on anything else, it's time for you to cut it off. It doesn't necessarily mean that those people are bad people at all. It just means that what you're looking for in your life, this no longer serves you. So you've got to let it go so that you can thrive and be the best that you can be. Because at the end of the day, it's your goals. God put something on your heart that is specifically for you. Not everybody can see what it is. It's meant for you. So that's why it's so important for you to be strong in those moments and say, hey, I'm no longer trying to be involved in this. I've got to do what's best for me, and I've got to follow what God has placed in my heart. And I promise you, because I've just seen it in my own life, and God will show you when you start listening to him and you start breaking off those pieces that no longer serve you, he will start bringing in positive, and he'll start showing you just a little bit. Just to like, all right, she's trusting me. Let me throw her a little something else to show her that this is me. This is coming from God. Or like I said, if you're into manifestation, law of attraction, you throw out, you get rid of some negative and you start bringing in that positive. You're trying to not complain. You're trying to be positive, be grateful. That positive energy you're going to start attracting back. So make sure that you are selfish with your time, because it's your life, nobody else's. Nobody can tell you how to live. People are going to talk about you. People are going to say bad things. People are going to look you up and down. Who cares? Because God's put a purpose on your life that only you can see. And not everybody's going to like you, and that's perfectly fine. Not everyone's going to think you're the nicest person, the coolest person, and that's fine. Because we don't live for them, nor do we need to be surrounded around people like that. So you do what you have to do for you, and that's all that matters. One of my last tips for you guys when it comes to recreating your life or steps to changing your life in the direction that you want it to go in is to commit to your goals. Now, I know that a lot of us tend to work a 9-to-5, but when we look at some of the people that are around us or the job just in itself, and you say, this isn't it. I know that God has a bigger purpose on my life. I know that this is just temporary because I don't feel it. I don't feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. Or just hearing the simple thought of, you're going to work here for 30 years and then you can retire. If that makes your stomach turn inside and you're like, oh, no, I can't do this. This is not for me. I don't know. Well, then you have got to commit to your goals, whatever that may be. If you want to be a photographer, you've got to go hard. When that 8-to-5 is off, you've got to say, all right, that was cool. That just paid my bills. But let me focus on what is going to create the life that I want to live over the next years until I am done. Like, seriously, you guys, that 9-to-5 is meant to pay your bills. Unless you truly love it. some people are comfortable, and some people are okay with, you know, maybe kind of just settling, or maybe it's not settling for them. But this video is for people who really want to change their life, who are truly unhappy with their life, and they're to the point where they're like, enough is enough. What do I need to do? I'm tired of this. I need to put on a motivational video. I need to be with someone or speak to someone who just gets it. And that's why I wanted to make this video for you guys, because I am going through it with you guys, and I truly believe that once you follow these steps just as much as I am, God is going to show you things, or law of attraction is going to show you things, or whatever it is that you give praise to every single day or every other day, whatever it is. I'm not here to judge, but when you start doing more positive things and you start being selfish with your time, your energy, and you think about your future and where you want to be, things will start going in the right direction for you. And that's what matters in those moments of feeling defeated, feeling like you want to change your life. Because again, only you can change it, and you definitely will. You've just got to put in the time and the energy, and you've got to trust yourself. And that's why it's so important to cut off anything that could bring not even 1% of negativity to your life. You've got to cut it off. And I don't mean like something such as you get a flat tire, so you get rid of the car. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, whether it be people, whether it be certain environments that you're putting yourself in, whatever that is, you've got to let it go so that you can stay focused. Because when you don't have any of that distraction, then you're able to focus in, and you'll start to be able to hear yourself, as weird as that may sound, but it's like you'll be able to see clearly. And that's so important during a time where you're trying to boss up and change your life, because it's yours. So make sure you guys like this video and hit subscribe, because I will have more videos coming for you guys, and we can definitely chat in the comments or head over to Instagram and follow me. Bye guys.